So we've had a few questions in the comments about certain supplements, and one of those was CLA, Conjugated Linoleic Acid. Now, this is something that I've been hearing about for the past 30 plus years as a bodybuilder, weightlifter, and in forums and articles, and it was always touted as a fat burner. And I've used it in different formulations from time to time, and I can't say that I've ever really felt anything from it in the past. But, you know, we question everything.
Right.
So we decided we need to dive into this a little bit and find out, is there anything to this or not?
Right. So conjugated linoleic acid is different than linoleic acid, which is something that you might have heard of before. Linoleic acid is a polyunsaturated fatty acid. So it is found in vegetable oils, and it is very high in omega-6, which can lead to inflammation when taken in high doses. Well, unfortunately, our standard American diet, standard Australian diet, all of our diets have become very high in vegetable oils. Now, on my second YouTube channel, I've talked quite a bit about the harm of vegetable oils. But just to note that our consumption has increased quite a bit, and now we're getting a lot of linoleic acid, which is not good, very inflammatory. Now, that's different than conjugated linoleic acid.
Right. So linoleic acid is an 18 carbon fat, and it has 2 double bonds. So there's 2 places where there's 2 bonds throughout those 18 carbons, okay? And in linoleic acid, which is the omega-6, they're in this what's called a cis-trans configuration. So they're like this. If you look at my hands, is like a double bond, okay? In conjugated linoleic acid, what happens is that one of those double bonds turns into a trans configuration. So it's like this. So you've got one cis, one trans. It's actually a mixed cis-trans fat.
Right, and so you said a word there that probably caught the ear of some people, right? Trans fats. So I think if there's one fat that's universally thought of as a bad fat, it's trans fats. But what is actually surprising is that we don't typically consider the fact that there is a natural trans fat found in some very healthy foods, particularly grass-fed beef and dairy products. And that is the CLA that occurs in these animal products. So you can get conjugated linoleic acid in quality meats, not in like normal store-bought meats and things, because those animals are fed grains and things like that, so they have a lot of the inflammatory.
Right.
Yeah.
And the omega-6, the high omega-6 that we have is one of the reasons that we really stepped our consumption of omega-3s to get that balance back in place.
Right.
So they're important too. So they've done a lot of studies on CLA, a lot of rodent studies. I've got body composition in mice.
Yep.
Lipoproteins and atherosclerosis in hypercholesterolemic hamsters. So,
yeah,
hamsters.
So we'll point to those if you want to know those studies more. We'll leave links for you in the description.
Right. Now they did do a study on conjugated linoleic acid reduces body fat mass in overweight and obese humans. We'll leave a link to this as well. And this was an interesting study because they took a number of different dosages. It was a placebo-controlled, randomized, double-blind study, really well planned and well executed. And what they found was a dosage of 3.4 grams of CLA gave the optimum results of lower body fat mass and increased lean body mass. So they did have an effect. Now I'm going to say that they were significantly statistically relevant, but they weren't huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like you're putting on 10 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks. And also, and we'll talk a little bit about the 2 different kinds of CLA in a second here, but this is actually a supplement that I take once in a while. It's got carnitine in it, along with some EGCG and some CLA in it. This has 500 milligrams of CLA in it, in 3 capsules, and so I would take this, a couple times a day, maybe especially if I'm lifting heavy. It's got the carnitine, what I want. But if you go with this 3.4 grams of CLA, you need to take 7 servings of this a day to hit that mark.
Right.
And that's 21 capsules. That makes this 50 serving bottle last you 1 week.
Right. So here's kind of the rub, right? So in order to get to the level, it's going to be pretty expensive. And also, you have to buy a quality supplement, and you're not sure of how the lab took the vegetable oils and changed their cis and trans configuration.
Right.
So there is a possibility that it could be inflammation. So you're kind of trading off, the possibility is that you're trading off weight loss for inflammation. You do not want inflammation in your body. That is the biggest problem for heart disease and things like that. The other rub is that if you get natural trans fats, natural CLA from high quality grass-fed beef and dairy, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's not a cheap solution.
No, I mean, and if you want to do it, just be forewarned that you need to do your research, see if you can find out what kind of CLA. The C9, C11 CLA is supposed to have a little better benefits than the 10-12 configuration, and if you're looking into it, you'll know what I mean. The other thing is, I think that probably the benefits of it are pretty negligible for the price you're going to pay.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, and there too, it's just something we're kind of presenting the information. I will say that if you are taking the supplement, or if you are eating, mostly meat and cheese, but you're not eating the high quality, you need to be making sure that you are taking in a full rounded high quality diet. And what I mean by that is that it is very beneficial to take in foods that will combat inflammation naturally. Specifically, leafy greens, non-starchy vegetables, nuts and seeds, avocados. These foods contain the antioxidants that you need to combat anything that you might be taking in.
Need some of that balance, and we talk about that in the 0-1-2-3 diet.
Right.
The kind of our foundational plan that we use.
Right, and if you guys have been watching us, this guy lost 80 pounds following a ketogenic diet. He kept vegetables in his diet the whole way through.
Still do.
Yeah, and that is our 0-1-2-3 strategy that you get with the starter kit, and you'll be able to understand that more if you want to grab that. So there's our thoughts on CLA. I hope that gives you some information and insights into how you can move forward to keep yourself healthy. And thanks for watching, and we will be back soon with another video.
I'll see you next time. Okay, are we on?
We are.